All right, folks, an exciting new chapter is unfolding across our radio brands. Here to tell us more about it is Whiplash, Head of Radio Business with the RJRGLEANER Communications Group, Dahlia Harris. Good morning, Ms. Harris.
Good morning, Sybil.
In this capacity.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting and new.
Yes.
Speaking of exciting and new, Harris, so many exciting and new things happening here.
Yep.
Only constant in life, they say, is what?
Change.
And so we're changing and evolving for the better. And here comes Cross Country Connect now, kind of wrapped up into all of it as a vehicle to get the word out. So let's start a little bit about or where a lot of people are, which is what's going on? What has prompted this set of changes now with the group and the radio brand?
I'm going to say what always prompts whatever we do at Radio Jamaica, and that's the listener. That's the core of every decision that we make, every strategy. And one of the things that we had to realize is what's the evolving sound for the listener, but also coming out of, what did the coroner say? She who will not be named. We had quite extensive damage in terms of our transmitters and our coverage area. And so we felt that our responsibility to reach listeners across the island, we were not fulfilling that purpose. And so the best thing for us was to see how could we consolidate all the things that we had, the sound, the great personalities, the great programming, but also in terms of our engineering capacity to reach people across the island. And that is what really drove the strategy to merge 4 into 2.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks who loved their Power 106.
Yes.
That's
where my media career started.
I know.
Yes.
They love their hits 92 FM.
Yes.
And those are no longer. What prompted that decision? Same things you
Same
mentioned?
things.
Okay, and so how
So for example, when we say, our listeners on Power 106, we want to advance programming in terms of how we engage with students, for example. And then when we sit with the client and they say, but the students that you're trying to reach, are they hearing you? Are you getting there? And so at some point we had to accept the fact that, our mandate was not being fulfilled, which is a discussion we had with the Broadcasting Commission and Spectrum. And so from there, Simone, of course, what do the listeners love?
The people.
Yes. And so we looked at the programs that we knew were the programs that were most popular. And that was reflected in not just listenership, but the advertisers as well. How do we keep that visibility for our advertisers? And that's how we decided, well, these are the shows that we will merge. You can imagine FAME coming like a FAME frequency. Well, do you know?
Oh my gosh. Tell me how that's going to go now, Harris, because Nick made reference to some of the folks who are going over.
Yes.
Tell me how it's going to work.
Listen, so we start with the Rising Trio. Could we not start with the Rising Trio?
No, love those guys.
So FAME starts with the Rising Trio, which is all that energy from Denny and Kevin and Paris. And then you think, okay, mid-morning, is it going to get a little bit, oh my gosh, Jenny comes on with Blast Off. So literally the FAME listener. Yes.
That's crazy.
Which is so cool because you have some folks who don't wake up very early, and if you don't wake up by 9 o'clock, Jenny certainly will wake you at that time.
Espresso.
So FAME is not going to be the brand that carries our sports elements. So after Jenny comes Oral Tracy.
After Jenny is Oral?
With Sports Explosion. Yes.
When is the time to breathe? Because those two are like steroids.
I don't know if there's
energy.
time. I don't know if there's time to breathe because Jenny is 9 to 10:30, Tracy's 10:30 to 12, and then from 12 o'clock we have the news.
Yes, breathe.
And then we have the bounce, which is Roderick for a couple of days. Some days it's going to be Power.
Okay.
So that in itself is also high energy for the listeners. And then we continue with Overdrive, with Denver, Colin Hines. So some of the DJs that have come over from Hits 92 include Roderick, Xavier, who will be with Jenny, Garfield Hamilton, Richard McGrath, who a lot of people don't know is Biggie from Raz and Biggie, but if you know, you know.
Oh, I didn't know.
If you know, you know. Richard McGrath is going to be there as well. So, yeah, I feel it's just going to be a very exciting time for FAME to have these guys joining already a very strong team.
What about 94?
So 94. So by the way, all the Champs fans, FAME is where you're going to hear Champs and World Cup. So all of our sporting events will go there. For the 94, Markland starts the day at midnight with the Diaspora Daybreak. Because one of the things we realized coming from Power 106 is that we have a very strong diaspora listenership coming from the UK and Asia. And so our Diaspora Daybreak, it might be nighttime to us, it's morning time for them. And so it was important for us to create a program that would reflect that. Back to the Bible moves to us as well after Markland. And then there's a program on Power 106 that's so popular called Farm Talk, hosted by Althea. Yeah. So Farm Talk is now inside of Sunny Side Up.
Inside of Paula and
Derek and Shivani. So Sunny Side Up starts with Farm Talk with Althea, and that's 5 to 6:30 a.m. And then Paula and Derek will take you right up to 9. Hotline is 9 to 12:30. Simon Crossgill joins the hotline team on a Monday and Tuesday. Yes.
You know, it's
good luck, listeners.
I had a discussion with him about this like 3 months ago. Like knowing nothing was happening.
He didn't either.
I said to him, I think it'd be so great for Hotline.
Wow.
Here we are.
No, so a lot of what we did was a lot of feedback that we were getting, a lot of, just comments from people. And a lot of people felt that Simon would be great. I think he's going to be great.
He's going to.
So, Clyde
I apologize from now. Because
yeah. Clyde Mullin's been away, so we had to make those changes. So it's going to be Simon Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I heard Clyde signing off on Monday.
Yeah, well, he's our alternate host, so I'm not gone. Not too far.
Okay.
Orville Taylor on Wednesdays and Emily, of course, Thursdays and Friday.
Okay.
12:30, so the hotline will not go up to 1 o'clock because 12:30 to 1 o'clock, there's a very popular show by Ralston Hyman called Real Business. So Real Business will do that 12:30 to 1 o'clock slot.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll just tell you what the other things are. And Real Business does 12:30 to 1 o'clock Monday to Friday, and on Sunday it does a 1 hour with Ralston and Dr. Sutherland from 12 to 1, where we used to have That's the Wrap. Other than those programs, what are some of the other things?
Who is this now? This is Doc?
This is Doc,
okay, got it.
So Auto World will now be inside of the Two Life crew on a Saturday. And we have Blacka Ellis is going to be doing a show called Aging Well.
Oh.
Yeah. Herbert Gale, who has done so much research on what Jamaica is. So Herbert will do 8:30 to 9 o'clock on a Thursday called Inside Jamaica.
Okay.
So I think what we have really put together is the core of who we are. Entertainment, information, education, and just a way to connect with our listeners. It's our evolution. I'm always excited for change.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're going to get it right.
Yeah, so the aim is really to do that and then to strengthen each brand.
Absolutely.
And its new identity.
Yeah, so one of the things that will happen is we will now be able to boost the coverage of those 2 brands. So instead of having 4 brands that are not reaching as far as they can, now we have 2 brands that will be able to, and it will also give us an opportunity to improve our digital access. So people will get more of us online, more of us on YouTube. So it's really, Simone, just expanding how we connect with listeners and giving the advertiser an opportunity to connect with their clients.
Let's talk a little bit about the advertisers, because we just talk about what we're doing, what the listeners have said, how that's led to some of the changes, because the feedback loop is very important. Change is exciting, but it's also scary for a lot of people. And you may have advertisers, I'm sure, who are saying, okay, how will this affect us? What does this mean for our value prop? You want to say
they're excited.
Okay.
Because we're literally moving you from brands to brands that are higher up in the market value in terms of their placing, in terms of their reach, in terms of their brand identity. And that doesn't say, Hits and Power 106, I have to say, if nothing else, had great teams and people who invested in those brands. And I have to take an opportunity to thank them. It's been 29 years, 30 years of heart and soul. It doesn't matter what reach is or who connects with them. They've always given 100%, Simone. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank them, because this really is just about change and not about them not doing what they've done so well.
Important distinction.
Yeah, so the advertiser gets, a lot of them are very excited that they'll get an opportunity to be heard by more people. So yeah, that's our promise to them.
Exciting times. So all of this takes place when?
Markland starts midnight Monday. So March 16, March 16, that's when we start, which is cross country gives us an opportunity for the people on the road to meet the new faces, all but new, and familiarize with them and the brands. Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. And you're leading the charge for all of this.
I am supporting it. I feel like our presenters and talent lead on anything we give them to do. And once you give them a charge, they take it. So I'm supporting them.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for letting us in on all those changes. And for folks who heard it today but want to hear it again, we'll be posting it in our socials.
Absolutely. And we have, we do have loops. So if, by rote you go to the station, the loop will tell you where to go.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Head of Radio Business. You want to say anything else before we left here?
Just a big thank you to the team, the radio team. Change is scary, Simone, but they've just embraced the change, as scary as it is and as challenging as it will be. And I feel very confident that they're just going to rise and make this just a great, great evolution for radio.
And a memorable chapter.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You heard it from the head of radio business, the RJRGLEANER Communications Group, Dahlia Harris. You may know her in another capacity. I'm not sure, but she's here as my boss, big boss today.
They didn't give me coffee today. I get coffee on a Tuesday and Thursday. I'm just saying.
Sure, but you didn't come here as a presenter. No, you must know. Don't do it again. Up next, we're hearing Caribbean School of Medicine. That's after this. You want some of my ginger?
Oh, you ginger. That's me.